to not waste too much time, that everybody already talked about this movie to death already since it first came out in the 70s, is Robin Hood. The story is really plain and simple. Rob the rich to feed to the poor. Our very hero, Robin Hood, and his friend Little John has to take the mean, greedy, selfish person named Prince John along with his henchmen, besides the guards of wolves, including the sheriff of Nottingham, him that wants to keep all the gold to himself, and taxing everybody, all around. And with our hero Robin Hood and his friend Little John dressed up as fortune tellers, tricking Prince John so they can steal all the gold he got. Not to mention there's like a love interest. And Maid Marian. And a beautiful what she's called a vixen, aka female fox. Also that's truly in love with Robin Hood since they were kids. Including a maiden lady. Beautiful lady named Clucky Chicken, who is Maid Marian's close friend, but later on in the movie becomes a little bit tougher for taking out the royal guards. There's also a tournament of arrows, and our hero Robin Hood disguises himself as a stork, or the full, most likely Prince John, and most likely his henchman and snake Sir Hiss. Yes, and so is Prince John. And Little John. And since both of these characters have the same name, and not to mention his sidekick is voiced by the same person, Phil Harris from The Jungle Book. And like most Disney films back in the 1960s or 70s can recycle a few animation, but this movie is actually pretty good. I do know Prince John was actually smart enough to realize Robin Hood was in disguise and had to be saved by his sidekick friend while all the craziness happens. And few romance with them is a perfect couple. And here's a scene where they also use from the Aristocats and most likely other films they use. Besides itself, recycle a few animations over and over again. But to this movie's credit, the beautiful backgrounds are really well done, great voice acting, and good songs. To not make this review longer than it needs to be, you have to watch the movie all for yourself to find this film quite enjoyable for young kids. Heck, when I was younger, I used to watch the heck out of this movie. Because it's about our main hero that's actually, like to put in clever disguises. And most likely outwit the villains. And the vultures kind of remind me of the other vultures from The Jungle Book. And I like the sheriff of Nottingham, even though he's a total jerk and wants to tax all the people's money.
Sheriff, I still got a feeling that Snoopy old codger knows too much. Oh, shut up, Trigger. He's just a harmless old blind beggar.
The story is plain and simple about Robin Hood trying to stop Prince John. In this part of the story, he's there to save Friar Tuck, the kind-hearted man of the church, or should I say badger of the church, who's doing his best being a preachman to save all the money they got. Or that mean no good. Prince John was actually, he had a plan to use Friar Tuck to finally get rid of Robin Hood once and for all, and his men will be ready. But on the known that they're in the castle already, and grabbed Nutsy the vulture, that they just grab and put his costume on. Use the rope and arrow to use it to get all the gold for the Tex people while they're sleeping, and make their heroic escape. But all that happens right away, and where Sir Hids wakes up from his nap and sees Robin Hood trying to make his heroic escape, and also making Prince John and the guards. I gotta admit, this final scene of the movie is excitingly awesome. Everybody's running for their lives, trying to avoid the arrows. It's just really fun to watch. Also, that rabbit's name is Buster, I guess. It's been a long time since I watched this movie. But seriously, this final act of the movie is excitingly fun to watch. I also watched this part where they were about to successfully get away, but he saves the baby and hands over to Little John. Our hero tries to escape all these dangerous threats on the way, but everywhere he goes, he just can't catch a break. And they just shooting arrows everywhere. And even when he enters the next room, Sheriff Nottingham was waiting for him and ready to burn him alive. This scene is very well intense, intensely exciting. And I like this scene here, where he jumps over her and tries to swim away from the danger. And I gotta admit, this scene actually made me cry. And thinking, and Prince John finally succeeded. And finally finished him off. But he actually is alive. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, and Prince John has a brother named Richard that's actually kind-hearted and good, but in the beginning of the movie, which I did not mention, was hypnotized by his. And yes, the snake has the same hypnosis as Kong from the Jungle Book. Neat. But since Prince Richard, it goes up to the very end, there's actually a deleted scene, or ultimate ending, that he shows up and takes over his no-good brother, Earl of Nottingham, and that made the people poor. But his good brother Richard returns. And then everybody and Robin Hood and their friends live happily ever after. All I can say is Robin Hood is really worth watching again and again for your young children's time. So, I give this film a perfect 7 out of 10. It's hilarious, it's exciting, it's well animatedly good, and perfectly voice acting. So, if you love classic fairy tales, this film will be just for you. And I'll see you guys when I talk about another classic fairy tale film in the near future of Disney history films. This has been an interesting review of me talking about the well designed animated film. So, catch you then, folks. Leave a like and subscribe if you like Disney's Robin Hood. And I'll see you around out in the near future. See you then!